How are you, my people? Uh, what does the Lord say about the latest Ramaphosa revelations? Okay, first of all, God is an institution. He has got oracles. There's many things that God can say at the same time. I'm actually referring to what God has been saying to me. That's why the first thing that the Lord said a few days ago, he said, son, you must remember that Ramaphosa is still the president of this country and he has to be respected as a president of this nation, notwithstanding the allegations in the farm, whatever, whether they are real or not real, whether they are justified or not justified. I don't want to dwell there. I am sure God has got a time to dwell there. Maybe a time will come. But I feel led to dwell on the other issues, of which if you follow the channel, you will know that the prime issue that the president is facing is being put in a box. I'm the one who prophesies these things. I don't really hear a lot of prophets prophesying the way that I do. I'm the one who prophesied that God said that Ramaphosa is in a box. And in that box, it's painful inside, it's painful going out. It's like whether you take left, you are wrong, whether you take right, you are wrong. Condemned coming in, condemned going out. So the box that Ramaphosa is in, according to our prophecies we've been doing here, is whether he should be pro-Russian or he should be pro-American in this war, this global war that is going on. And you know that the president of South Africa decided to be in the middle. Okay. Which is the proper response for an African country looking into South African politics and where we are. And then God said to me that Ramaphosa is in that box. He is struggling because if he becomes pro-Americans, the Russians will use all sorts of ammunition against him. If he becomes pro-Russian, the Americans will use all sorts of ammunition against him. So President Ramaphosa is sort of under some kind of duress from the Americans, duress from the Russians. And you do know that these proxy wars between America and Russia have been going on all the time, even during the Cold War. Even here next door in Mozambique, the whole war between the Renamo and the Frelimo was actually a proxy war between Russia or sovereign state and the capitalist America. So even today, the war carries on, as to who is going to control the whole world. Because the war is about control. These men in Washington, their testosterone, and these men in Moscow, the testosterone levels are so high, extremely so high, that they feel the only way they feel good about themselves is when they control the world. If they don't control the world, they have to force everybody else. You see, that is the kind of the mental breakdown in Washington and in Moscow. It is actually a mental breakdown in those global leaders because they think that the whole world is a toy to play around with. Cyril Ramaphosa is the president of South Africa. He needs to make this country succeed. It is not his interest in making Washington the men, the men in Washington to feel good about themselves. It's Cyril Ramaphosa's job to make the men in Washington to feel good about themselves, that they could rule the world. Therefore, he must toe the line. No. His duty, his mandate, voted by the 60 million people in South Africa, is to make sure that he presides over the South Africans so that they can have good economic prospects in whatever issue we're dealing with within the context of South Africa, not to cater for the demands and the power demands of men and women in Washington. I hear the Holy Spirit say, son, do not exclude women because there's women in it. The Lord said that include the men and the women, in Washington who want to feel good about themselves, that they are powerful, who want to test their power by testing a whole generation. God said that these people in Washington, when they're looking at you Africans, this is what the Lord is saying to me right now, that when they're looking at you in Africa from Washington, they feel good or they feel powerful if they can yield their force upon you, if they can tell you what to do, and you seem to be doing as they say. God showed me that that's how they feel good about themselves. They are inadequate. They're ill-equipped. Okay, you people in Washington, I'm not afraid of you. You are ill-equipped. For you to think that you have to have a sitting president of a country of South Africa whose job is to take care of the 60 million people in South Africa. Now he must take care of your own of your own unresolved issues in your mind, of these egos that you have, that you wanna be better than Putin, you wanna be better than China, so therefore you must force Ramaphosa. It's not like America is going to lose anything if Russia will have some influence somewhere. It's just that what they value is that I am the man, I'm the one on top of everyone. It's immaturity, really. You can't be a global leader and you have that kind of immaturity. We need people that are mature to lead the world. Because these very small things, these are the things that can make the Holy Spirit take away the power from America and give it to someone else or other people that are going to be mature mentally. Okay. Now our president is being attacked. The 4 million. Okay, now let me put it this way. So there was $4 million in Ramaphosa's farm. Alright, the guy is a billionaire. Okay, we know that. What is $4 million to a billionaire? Okay, look at it in that context. $4 million is not a lot of money to a billionaire like Ramaphosa. I'm not going into that how did he become a billionaire, but we've always known that he's a billionaire. So you mustn't be surprised that there was $4 million in his farm. What do you expect him to have? Like 20 rand? Just because you've got 20 rand in your pocket doesn't mean that the president also has got 20 rand in his pocket. No, he's got 4 billion, no, $4 million in his farm. Then someone steals that 4 million. And then what next? And then he reports, you are the president of a country. These people, there is the intelligence department. They deal with those people whichever way they saw it fit. Owing that this thing happened in a presidential farm. Well, was Ramaphosa involved? I do not know. I'm not going to say things that I do not know, but I'm just saying things that are on TV. I said on TV. But do you expect a person who's a president of a country, do you think that he would actually run on a minute-by-minute basis the things that can happen in his farm if that kind of money was stolen? Don't you think that the state security itself, the people in the state security will handle that, whether the president approves of it or not, or whether the president knows of it or not? They will do what has to be done for the sake of national security. And we do know that people that do things for the sake of national security, they'll break the law for the sake of national security. We do know that. So for revelation coming from someone who was a spy boss, he should never be a spy boss anyway. Because if you're a spy boss, you have got secrets of the state that must not be known. Now, the state will break rules of the state because the state is not made for the rules, but the rules are made for the state. And if the state apparatus feel that this thing must be kept a secret, and it is advised and decided in state security offices, so be it. So, as a guy who is top spy of the country, and then now I bring a secret of the country out because I'm targeting an individual within the politics. If it was a person who was employed at the farm, okay, who came up with those revelations, well, it makes sense. It's a ordinary citizen. But a spy, of a boss of intelligence, I mean, there's a lot of things that a boss of intelligence knows about everybody else. Okay. So it means that everybody else is now fair game. If we can take this is supposed to be, what do they call it? Classified information. If now classified information can be used against individuals, when in actual fact it's clear that during those activities, the South African nation was not brought into disrepute. From the time when Ramaphosa had the $4 million, I'm not going to talk about where did the 4 million come from. He's a billionaire that is changed to a billionaire. The fact that it was stolen was not his fault. And the fact that they handled it the way that they handled it, whether the state apparatus took that, dealt with those guys, interrogated those people. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, state security agents and the police are one and the same thing. Whether they interrogated those people, whichever way they interrogated them, and those people went to Namibia, or whatever, or they were given money to be, all of those things. Those are things that may happen in the context of national security, in the context of classified information. But we know from the information that is given that the country was not brought to disrepute. The money was not stolen from the state, or the country was not undermined. There was no resources of the country that were used in an unbecoming manner that is benefiting individuals at the expense of everybody. In fact, I would argue that the benefit of the name of Ramaphosa, for whatever they did, is good for the country because he is the president of the nation. So this thing doesn't hold in the waters at all. It's just noise playing at the public, to the public courts, the public gallery, to make Ramaphosa look weak or to look like he is corrupt. And I'm not in any way defending Ramaphosa as far as corruption is concerned or whatever. But what has been brought forward by Arthur Fraiser really, if first of all, as I'm saying in this video, it should not even have been brought forward. Especially always with the fact, where did he get that information from? He got it from the information because he was the boss of intelligence. So which means in the future, the lesson is don't make Arthur Fraiser the boss of intelligence ever again. Because there's everything that you're going to be doing. He will use it against you next time in the future. Against you. But the reason why you are a spy boss is because you are the guy who keeps quiet. Okay. And if you were to speak, it really has to be something that is really against the country. Not some things in chair that well, I rest my case. Thank you for watching. That's just my 2 cents on the issue.